Okay, so thanks for hopping on tonight. I'm super excited. So Dia had some family things come up, and I said that's totally fine. Like, our team is super flexible. I was gonna come on here and like try to light your guys' fire and stuff, but I was thinking to myself, why would I not like reach out to you guys and see like if we can find someone to speak on the call that is one of us? And so right away I thought of Mary because it was like a year, I think, right around this time that she called me last year and was like, hey, I want to sign up with this challenge pack. Talk to me about it. Like, first person I've ever talked to on the phone. I was so scared because I don't know why, but I was just like so nervous. I had a timer on my phone. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to call her in 5 minutes. Oh my gosh, she's going to call in five. Like, I was freaking out. We talked for like, I feel like it was like 2 hours long. Like, we just talked forever. And then she joined with Shift Shop, I believe, and because she didn't have Wi-Fi, so she did a DVD. So we made it happen, and she got freaking amazing results. And I was like constantly bugging her, like, hey girl, you should coach. Hey, you should probably coach. Hey, think about coaching. Like, just talking to her about it. And then finally she was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. And she signed up. It was March, right? As a coach. I believe it was March.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I think I maybe signed up in February and then actually started in March.
Yeah. And once she signed up, like, it was literally like 30, 60, 90 for her. So like, she got herself to Emerald. She was like starting to get all of this traction, built herself to Diamond, made it to our Colorado retreat as a Diamond coach, and got like a free plane ticket to go, got, like recognition as a Diamond coach. And now she's really pushing. She has her husband and her mom's account both built. Right now she's just waiting on some like coaches basically underneath her hubby's account, and then under her mom she's building that. So she is like almost going to be a self-made like 2-star Diamond coach, which is incredible because she just started in March. So I wanted her to speak with you guys because I feel like she's still kind of a newer coach, obviously, because it's like the first, it's not even like 6 months yet, but at the same time, like, she's always at the top of the leaderboard. She's always recruiting, always posting and sharing. And she's a mom of 2. She's a wife. Like, we call her the pioneer woman after we hung out with her in Colorado, because she like doesn't have Wi-Fi. Like, she grows all of her own food. Like, it's just crazy the stuff that she does. She's a baker. She's a teacher. Like, she's super successful. And so I don't know. I just want you to just share anything and everything with us that you're doing, what's working. Kind of talk to us a little bit about how you make it happen. And I'll let you go. I'm going to mute myself, so I'm not talking.
Okay. So I will just start by saying that I did not have a lot of time to prepare because it was like after 6 this evening and we were getting supper for the kids and all that stuff and getting everything cleaned up. So I'm really flying by the seat of my pants, quite literally. So I guess Megan sort of backstoried me a little bit there. And quite honestly, like I got really, really good results with the Shift Shop program. And then Christmas came and I was like, cookies. So, had a little like backwards movement, I guess, for a while. And then I guess I really sort of dug in for me in January. And like we said, I signed on as a coach in February then. So I started really with this push, like it was for me. I wasn't, that sounds really selfish. But the coaching thing was also a little bit for me at first, because I knew if I was going to be accountable to somebody else that I would, or be an example too for somebody else, that I would do a much better job for myself. So I started the coaching with that sort of as my my inner drive. And then I am a person who likes to have all of my ducks in a row. Oop, oop. Me in your story, that was that beep a beep a beep. But I forgot what I was saying. So I was doing it for myself and then signed on with that coaching in February. I like to have all of my ducks in a row. So I was like, all these other people were in coach training, like, I'm going to get on this today. And I'm like, I'm going to go through all of coach training so I know exactly what I'm doing before I start anything. So that's why I didn't really start anything until March. But I can remember getting my very first challenger, and I was just like, oh my God, thank you for trusting me with your fitness and your health and all that stuff. And I guess I would say that that very first challenge group I ran with Meg, I just put my people in Megan's groups and Megan prep and all that stuff. And the next month, I felt like I had people to do it on my own. I only had like 10 or 12, but I my own. So I guess I've taken ownership of this from the time that I very started. Like I wasn't, not that Megan does a bad job. Obviously, Megan does an awesome job because she's lit all the time. But I wanted something to be mine. So I started running my very own challenge groups. I guess in April was my very first challenge group that I ran all by myself. Challenge group for you, like it's your own. You want people in there. You can't rely on somebody else to have like, oh, I know Megan's going to have like 30 people in there. So the group's going to have chatter and it's going to be just fine. But when you're populating it for yourself, you have to put people in a group, and you're not going to get people that way. So I really took ownership, and I wanted that. I wanted that group to be mine. And then as far as continuing on with my sort of road to diamond, I took charge of my husband's account right away and my mom's account right away, which I think like with this sale, I know my husband's going to be at like 5 and 5 or 6 and 6 or something. And then my mom's going to be at like, she will be at 4 and 4 by the end of the month, mark my words. But I took charge of their accounts and I made sure that I was secure. And I always had this feeling like, at first I had the feeling like Emerald isn't possible. That sounds really, really tough. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And then you do it and you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. And then I was like, Diamond sounds really, really tough. No way that I'm ever going to do it. And I did it and I was like, oh, well, that was super simple. And I honestly attribute a lot of that to taking ownership. Like I wanted my own groups. I wanted my people to see me. Like they signed on with me and I wanted to be their leader, and I have people that tell me like, you motivate me so much. And so I want to be their leader. If I'm motivating to them, I want to be the person that is giving them their post every day and the person that they, see really active in their groups all the time. So that sort of got me to Diamond, that drive to be that person, to run my own groups, to take that ownership. And sorry, I know how to mute that stuff because I have no idea what technology even means. But so I got that Diamond right away, and now I am literally just searching for people to be active under me to get emeralds on both sides of my husband and to get emeralds on both sides of my mom, to get that 2-star before I can open my second CBC. I guess as far as like gaining that traction, you have to believe in what you're doing and you have to be honest with the other people about it. 2B came out. 2B has been huge for me personally. It's been huge for like family members of mine. And then because I believe in it and because I live it, that is bringing people to me left and right. I literally post food at least I don't even know. It's probably more than 7 times a week, with the food and portions and stuff that I'm doing with my To Be mindset. So people see that. They see that I'm actually living it, which a lot of people, are like, wow, that's totally awesome. And of course, you're going to get some of the people that are like, I've had this. People come up to me in public. They're like, do you even eat? And at first I was like, did you just say that to me? Because I probably ate more than you did, like for lunch, because I love food. But I just kind of took a step back and I was like, okay, some people are going to see this as she's doing a freaking awesome job, and I really want to I want to do that too. So I'm going to gravitate towards her. And then I had to kind of pause when I got those comments in public, and I just realized, like, okay, they're only saying that because of their own insecurities, and I really don't need to worry about that person right now. When I very first started coaching, I wasn't quote unquote posty, and I was worried about that. And I viewed posting as something that was sort of vainglorious. It was vanity. Like, look at me, look at everything I do, look at this. But I just needed to switch my own mindset on that and be like, no, I'm not posting for people to look at me. I am posting for people to see me as an inspiration, to see me as an actual human being that they know that can accomplish things. So when I post my food pictures, when I post a sweaty workout picture, when I post like progress, I'm doing that knowing that some people are going to get ticked off or turned off by it, and that's fine because they have their own issues being vain. But I know in my heart that I am doing this because I felt like horrible last August. It's kind of crazy. This is like birthday month, and it's like Beachbody anniversary month from when I first started as a challenger. But I know where I was, like not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. So I go at this, I guess, with my posts every day, knowing where I was, knowing where a lot of people that I see, where they really are, not just physically, but mentally. I know that if I can reach out to them in some way, shape, or form, and if I can touch or tug that heartstring, that I can help them make the change. So it's truly a passion, it's a drive. And you got to have that if you want people to trust you. If you want people to trust in you, and you want people to, trust you with their health and wellness, they have to see your passion. And so how are they going to see your passion if you're not posting your passion? So I've sort of really found my niche, I guess, with the food stuff, because like Megan said, I am sort of self-attributed pioneer woman, with the gardening and the canning and all of the stuff, all the cooking and baking and all that stuff that I do. So I found my niche. That's another thing that's really, really super important. So like niche, where can you reach people? Where can you meet them where they are? And then after they have sort of met you there or found you there, then it becomes an attraction. It becomes a pull back to you. So, I mean, food is huge. And I'm going to go into a little bit of PD right now, but like I don't have tons of time for PD. So I take PD like as, like I see something in nature and I'm like, bam, PD right there. I was at church this morning and they were talking about spiritual food versus physical food. And food is something that every single human person needs to live and survive. So I'm showing people the physical food. Every single being is attracted to that. Like every needs food to live, to survive. You know, there are effects that happen to your body, whether it's good food or bad food, whatever. So I'm showing them the physical, but then they're getting an emotional tug from that as well. Because, and I can remember looking at some of Megan's food pictures, like when I stalked her for a few months before I actually made her talk to me on the phone. But it's something that draws people in. And then after they're drawn in, like food might not be your thing, but what's something else that all human beings, like we have some type of innate tendency towards, or magnet or draw? Like what can you find that is, you know, something special about you, that you know there's other people that are going to be drawn to that? Share it, and then they're going to take notice, and then you will be like a magnet to them. Okay, so I show my food pictures. People get interested in my food pictures, and then I share the quote unquote like spiritual food. Okay, so this food's going to feed your body in the pictures and stuff that I have, but you also need something that is going to motivate you, something that is going to keep you on track, something that is going to make sure that you are getting the results that you want. And that's going to be where I come in. Okay, so find what's special about you. Like, what do you have to offer to other people? Where is that? Use it as your sort of jumping off point, and then the people who naturally, you know, are similar to you in that way, they're gonna find you, they're gonna feel you, and then they're gonna be magneted towards you. I have people like with this flash sale that have been watching me for months, like since I very first started. People that I've like met with personally to discuss Beachbody and to discuss joining a challenge group, to discuss coaching. You know, they've been obviously thinking about it for a very long time, and they've been watching me for a very long time. So I created that magnet somehow with them, through what makes me me. You know, finding something that A, is a part of you, B, is a part of a whole bunch of other human beings. And they've just sort of like, you know, been drawn to me since then. So I think that's one place or one way that I have been successful in my first few months of coaching, and I hope to continue to be successful. This one might sound a little bit silly to some of you, I don't know, because sometimes I feel like, seriously, like, can you compare yourself to this? Is this something that you should be comparing yourself to? But I'm a churchy girl, so I look at this like, I often see parallels between what I'm doing to help people with their health and wellness and their well-being and their quality of life. I see that sometimes as like Jesus with his disciples, because what did Jesus do? He drew people into himself. He drew crowds. He said things that were maybe controversial a little bit sometimes, or did things that were a little controversial sometimes, but he was sharing the truth, something that was going to help people. I've thought many, many times about posts with, you know, unhappy people that are unhappy with their body. 2/3 of Americans are overweight or obese. Like, what types of habits are we teaching our children? Things like that might not be popular with everybody. They really might not be popular with everybody, but you're going to draw the people that you strike a chord with. Like, some people are going to be like, yeah, she's right, and I'm one of those people, and I want to do something about it. I want to make that change. So I feel like I'm sort of drawing my crowd. I'm drawing my disciples. I'm drawing my people who are going to help me spread this message. throughout, but I'm also helping them at the same time, you know. I am motivating them to make the change. And then hopefully, as I continue, because like we noted, I'm still wet behind the ears, I'm a rather fresh coach. Hopefully, I get some of those quote unquote disciples to start helping me spread that word. And to start helping me, say the things that might not be popular all the time, but the things that are probably true. Find the things that make them special, and really, draw people to themselves as well. Is this making sense to everybody? Or am I on a crazy rant right now?
No, I think it's good. I just like hearing your perspective of like how you're serving people, or like how can you serve people with what you're doing. And then I remember us having that conversation about posting and how you were struggling with it, and how you have, I think other coaches struggle with it too, maybe not necessarily like the way you were perceiving it, but I think a lot of us struggle with just sharing us, like afraid of what people would say,
Mm-hmm.
and like, oh, there she is posting again, like those kinds of things. But when you change your mindset and you're like, how can I serve other people? How can I make a difference? Like, I think that was key for me too. I'm loving this. Yeah.
Like, do you want me to go into time now? What are you
Yeah,
thinking?
if you want to share just like how you maybe organize things, or how you schedule things, or I know you start teaching here in a couple of weeks, like kind of what your anticipation is, just to kind of help everybody, because I know a lot of our team members do work, full time.
Yep, sure. So as far as time goes and where I fit things in, I am a crazy busy woman. Like, I do teach full time, Spanish part time, and English language arts the other half. So like we're talking in high school too. So we're talking like 7-page papers to correct and all that jazz. I run a baked goods business on the side. So, everything in moderation, everyone. You can have some cakes sometimes. And then we've got 2 German Shepherds. I live on an acreage. So like every time you mow, it's 4 hours. I have 2 children. Nash, who is 8 and involved in, all the kids sports and stuff that is offered around here. And then Lucy, who is 3. So we are like making multiple stops during the day, one for daycare, one for school, and all that good stuff. I have a husband, obviously, who needs some of my time as well. And then I have Beachbody. So like, where or how do you fit it all in? And I'm not techie. I'm not a techie person. So I have like my master calendar where I make sure that I write down like every order that I have for baked goods, every practice or event or like church outing or whatever. And then when CCD starts up, like all of that is on there. Anything family wise that we have, I have, let's see here, like upwards of 20 nieces and nephews that we do like birthday parties for all the time. So it seems like we're always going, just something like that. So we're super busy. We're always on the go. So how do I fit in my Beachbody? Over the summer, I have found that like if I can get a block of time, like when she takes her nap, my son totally is enthralled with Harry Potter, so he's like loving just sitting down and reading. So if I get that big block of time, I can accomplish, like, I don't know, how many mamas do we have here? It seems like I can accomplish so much more with a couple hours now than I could before I had kids, because you just know that you can't do it later. Like, you're not have time, will not be there. So if you want to get it done, it has to be done right the freak now. So like nose to the grindstone when I get those couple of hours, if Lucy decides to nap. I just go like a mad woman. So like maybe I'm not sending out 5 new conversations a day, but maybe when I get that time, it's like sleeping 50. Like I just go for it when the time allows me to do so. And like when I started Beachbody, we also had just had a litter of 9 puppies. So I felt like that lady off of Bridesmaids who was like, I took 9 puppies. It was a little more than I thought I could handle. And, you know, I was that lady. I literally had 9 puppies. So you learn to use your pockets so wisely. So like that's what's working for me right now over the summer. It took me a little bit to figure that out. Like I had a really slow June because I was struggling with the new sort of schedule that I had. And I really thought like, oh, here comes June. I'm going to light it up over the summer. And then I just didn't because it was different. So I guess I have learned, and this is once again going to be something that I'm evolving as I am a new coach, but when I get those large pockets of time, I really need to go for it. And then like check off as many things as I can, like for the week. So I like to have my posts scheduled, like on Sunday night, schedule my posts so that they're ready to go, at least one a day. And then if I have other things that I want to like add in, something that like comes to me like, oh, that'd be a really, really good post, or something that I like we went and did something cool and I want to talk about that, I can add those in, but at least I know I have one good quality post per day. And sometimes it is only one, but if it's a quality post that I actually spent some time on, like Sunday night, getting it ready and done in a good way, then I know that my week for posts is covered. Okay, and then after I have my posts kind of scheduled and covered, then I can start thinking about, worrying about like helping out my current challengers. And also I can talk about like starting my new conversations and then sending like, hey, let's do this together type messages. So I sort of get all those posts scheduled out. And when I do get one of those big blocks of time, I go to my good quality posts, and then I start making my lists. Like I kind of have columns, like it's the first time that they have liked or commented on anything. Like I've seen this name a couple of times, or I've seen this name a whole bunch of times. And then I really try to focus on like those ones that have maybe liked or commented once, or maybe I've seen them a couple of times. I send them like a thank you, like thanks for commenting. You know, when you click or like on my stuff, it shows it to a lot of people. I'm really trying to build this right now. I'm really passionate about it. Thank you so much for doing that. And then guess what? Then they're like looking for your stuff, and they're looking to click and like and comment more for your stuff. And then they'll work their way over into that I've seen this name a whole bunch of times column. And then I start sending the should really do this with me. You know, I think you'd be really, really good at this. And like, I know like the statistics I think are like 1 out of every 10 messages that you send or something, but sort of with that system that I've started, I feel like I get more people that say yes than 1 out of every 10, because I've made contact with them to thank them for something that they've done for me, whether or not, I mean, it's easy for them to do that for me. And then they're like, oh yeah, well, you're welcome. And that's really easy. I can hit like or love or go girl or whatever. And then they move sort of over to the right in my categories, And then after then I know they've been watching, I know they've been seeing what I've been doing. And then I start sending those, let's do this together, like what goals do you have? Ever thought of joining so that we can crush them together type things. And I feel like I guess I feel like it's less work for me doing it that way because I get more than 1 out of every 10 that sign up with me. So fitting that stuff in, though, like I said, right now I'm doing it in big chunks. I'll hopefully find a big old chunk of time and be able to I want a big chunk of time to sit down and make my lists and do my messages. As far as follow-ups and stuff like that, those I kind of fit in between the cracks. People that are like, oh, maybe, that would be cool, I think. And then I'll just shoot them when we're in the car on the way to here or there, or, if the kids aren't awake yet and I'm awake, I know they're going to be waking up any minute. I don't want to be interrupted when I'm doing my big list thing. So I'll just do some little things like that then. And as we are making our way back into the school year, what I don't have actual internet at home. This is probably killing my data right now, everybody. So you're welcome. But when I get back to school, when school gets back started, my actual plan is to we have sort of contracted hours, the 8 to 4 or whatever. So I'm going to be there 20 minutes early every day. And just do my checking and stuff then, check my coach office, which I've been horrible at this summer. So thank God for Megan for checking my coach office for me quite often. So that's what I'm going to do, sort of my checking and my check-ins, people that I am already working with. I'm going to be doing those sort of early before our contract hours begin. And then after work, I'm going to plan on sending some of those hey, thank yous. And I won't have to have such giant chunks because I will have a little bit of time to myself each day where I can be okay, I'm going to send my hey, thank yous for this post, not for the week's worth of posts. So smaller pieces since I'll be back at work, but still, working off of my same system and hopefully keeping it, with the higher success rate that I feel like I'm seeing with my messages. So yeah. Any questions right now?
Someone had just asked about scheduling their posts. Do a lot of coaches schedule posts? So on Instagram, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can craft a post and then you can click the back button, and then it will say discard or save draft. And so I actually craft posts while I'm feeling creative, and then I just save them as a draft. So then if I'm at school and I don't know, I have to stay for a game or something, I'll just click that and post it, and then I copy it and put it on Facebook. So that's another way if you don't have a page. But I know that Mary probably schedules out her fitness page, and then what you can do is once it posts, she can find it, copy it, and then paste it to her Facebook page too. So yeah, I hope that answers.
And I sometimes copy paste it to my Instagram as well.
Yeah.
So, which I'm an Instagram baby. I so don't know a lot about Instagram. All I'm doing is putting stuff out there right now.
We got back from Colorado and she opened up her Instagram, so she's doing good.
Very first time. So
I love that. Does anyone else have any questions for her? Anything about, I don't know. I'm just blown away at how you teach, you coach, you do all of this freaking stuff, and I'm I don't even have kids and I'm feeling stressed.
I honestly, I don't know if it was the way I was raised or what, but I don't really stop. I stop when I go to bed, I don't know the last time that I watched a TV show. I just don't. I watch the weather before I go to bed at night. I get the weather in sometimes, but even then I sit down to watch the weather in 10 minutes and I'm like, I gotta do something. I can't, this is ridiculous. Why am I seated? This is not working. I guess my work ethic, it doesn't really quit.
Yeah.
So.
And it shows, it does show. Tori, okay, hold on. Karina said she uses the notepad in her phone and then drafts it there. That's a really good idea too for copying and pasting. Tori wanted to know, you mentioned earlier taking charge of accounts. I may be getting ahead of myself, but does that mean signing someone as a coach who already has a Beachbody On Demand account but nothing else? So basically, when you go through coach training and we talk about Emerald, it's really good if you can control like someone else's account underneath of you. So like for an example, Laura is on this call. She has her mom and her husband signed up. Mary has her mom and her husband signed up. I have my husband signed up and then my sister ended up signing up. But like you can control you plus 2 accounts with your card. So like if you wanted to, like I pay for my husband's stuff, like if I sign up my mom and I wanted to pay for my mom's stuff, I can. It's a parent, a child that has to be over 18 or a spouse. And so you can control those accounts. However, like my mom uses Shakeology, so she pays for her own stuff. My sister pays for her own stuff. I pay for my husband. But like Laura, if she wanted to, like she could order stuff and like under her mom and her husband to keep them both active, if that makes sense. So then what Mary has done is Mary gets to Success Club. So she helps her 5 people. Once she helps 5 people, she moves to like her husband's account and she starts building him. And then she wants to try to get him to Diamond, because if he gets to Diamond, Mary gets to 1 star. And then once he's Diamond, she's going to go to her mom and build her mom to Diamond. When her mom gets Diamond, Mary's a 2-star Diamond coach. And then when you become 2-star, Mary gets to open up another Mary. So you get another account.
2 of me.
Yeah, it's actually wonderful. So then she can open up another account and she can push that account to Diamond, like as she's building. And that account is like her. So if I put people underneath my second CBC, those are my Success Club points. So she doesn't really have to build that first Mary. She can start building the second Mary and not have to like worry a ton about that first Mary. So like it's really awesome to be able to open that up, and she can place it in a certain spot under her. So she could potentially it goes underneath like her, but it could go through her husband and then through her. So it's like honestly, I'm not even kidding, it like doubles your income overnight. It's crazy. It's awesome. So yeah, like basically when she signed up, I was like, hey, here's the deal. Let's sign your husband up. And then she signed her mom up because I think her mom wanted to try some of it or something like that. So she had signed those 2 people up to get to Emerald. And then when she said like taking charge of accounts, like she's building her husband and her mom right now too. So
when y'all see Mary Piggott or Joel Ehrig on those boards, that's me building them too.
Yeah.
As well. And yeah. I think this month is going to be the first month I've made everybody hit Success Club. So. Which
is awesome.
That's cool. I've been close before, but I think it's actually going to happen this month. So.
Yeah. And I mean, like if you're spouse or whatever, like Aaron didn't want to do Performance Line when we first started, and now he drinks all of my Energize and Recover. And he drinks Shakeology too now. He did not when we first started. That's why I did Shakeology and he did Performance Line. And then he was like, oh, you're cool, I want to join you. So then we both have been doing it. But my mom gets Shakeology and like drinks it herself. But like Laura, her mom, she can order like Recharge under her mom and it keeps her mom active. And then she orders like Shakeology under her, Performance Line under her husband. So she still uses the products. She doesn't just order them just to order them. Like she'll order them and then use them, if that makes sense. Hopefully that helps answer your question. And Tori's a new coach. Hey, new coach. I love questions. I had a question for you and now I lost it. Oh, you said you like change your schedule a little bit so you can get to school to like work your business a little bit. So you would probably say you work your business literally through the cracks. Like you don't really have a set power hour, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So one thing that blew my freaking mind was she just said she does not have an hour like to sit and work her business every single day. And she's at Success Club. She gets her mom to and her husband to Success Club. She posts on social media, has 2 kids, a husband who's needy, like they're all needy. And it like still makes it work. Like that right there is not to be like, Mary is better than you, but to be like, holy if Mary can make this work, every single person on this call can make this frickin' work. And so I think, what would you say is your, I don't know, like your biggest suggestion for people? Cause like, I know Michelle and our schedules are pretty much going to be the same cause she is volleyball too. What would you say, like just for everybody in general, like a suggestion if they feel like they're too busy to like, I don't know how to word it, to like make this work, or if they're afraid that they're too busy to make this work or their schedule's too crazy? Do you have any like advice or anything you would say?
I guess I would say anytime you say that you're too busy for something, all that really means to me is that you haven't made it a priority. Does that make sense? So like as soon as somebody says, well, I'm too busy, that means that it's a back burner item. And you have to make it your priority. I mean, you don't really find time. Nobody ever finds time. You make time, you know, because like when I started with the workout stuff last August, I had 9 puppies. I was told in August that I was going to be a full-time teacher because I had been part-time before then. I had a 2-year-old daughter who still wasn't sleeping through the night. She still doesn't, everybody, FYI. And then I had my baked goods business literally booked solid through December. Like booked solid through December. And I'm not saying that this is like, you shouldn't do this because it was unhealthy for me. I get that. But I would be up sometimes because I had people that were counting on me for like their kids' birthday cakes and stuff. I'd be up till like 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I'd wake back up at like 5:45 to do my workout. And I know that's not healthy. I know it's totally not. But I needed to make I needed to make me a priority at the time too. You know, so yeah, if I hear somebody say like, I'm too busy, what I actually hear is it's not my priority, you know? And I guess the reason why I make time for this, I make this a priority is because I want to someday do just this. And I'm not gonna get there by saying I don't have time for it. So I make it a priority.
Mic drop right there. I love that. And actually like, yeah, mic drop. I can't even say anything. Mm-hmm. Like I get that it's not easy because you're sitting here telling us like I work my face off. Like it's not easy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that like Beachbody has to be the end result for everybody on this call, because maybe you really do love your job and maybe that's something that you want to do for the rest of your life. But honestly, like, let me ask you something that Josh asked me at his event last year. He was asking us about our lives, and I was a Beachbody coach and our team was pretty successful last year. And I loved my teaching job where I was at before. And I loved my house that I had. I loved our family, like where we were at. And so he was like, how many of you are pretty content with where you're at with your life? And I was like, yeah, duh. Like, I like my life. And then he goes, all right, in this bag or whatever, he's like, I have $1 million. How many of you would want this? And I was like, yeah, hello, throw it to me. You know, like I was super pumped. He was like, oh, but I thought you said that you were content with your life. And I was like, holy crap. Like, just because, let's just say like I want to teach for the rest of my life. I absolutely love it. I can still do Beachbody and make like six figures and have a really nice freaking house, or go to Disneyland because my husband won't take me, or, you know, whatever it is. So it's okay if you like don't want to quit your job because like you actually love it. Totally awesome. But like, what could, you know, a couple $1,000s a week do for you and your family? You know what I'm saying? And like, it's not all about money and everything, but at the same time, like Mary was saying, like she wants to be at home, like with her kids and doing Beachbody full time. And like for that to be an opportunity though, like for her to do that if she wants to, like that would be awesome. And I know some of you on here, like your job isn't your favorite. Like who doesn't love going on team calls and like traveling? Yeah. And like making money. Like, why would you not? Like, I love coaching. And I think Mary, like, and I kind of go hand in hand. Like, we're super crazy busy, but we make it work because it's not, I don't know, it's not work, you know? Like you love what you do. Like, sure, do I annoy people with my posts? Yeah. But like when I go to a slow pitch tournament and people are like, hey, there's that mega change girl. Like, I'm known for like fitness. At least I'm not known for like something else, like I smell funny or something. Like, you know, at least I'm known for something that's like good. And so, yeah, I don't know. Mic drop for serious, Mary. Like, you're awesome. I freaking love it.
I do what I can.
Do it again. You're doing awesome.
Well, and some of you might notice that I'm not on a lot of these team calls. Like, I'm not, because I legitimately don't have a lot of time, and I'm like, okay, I have to prioritize things sometimes, and I'm like, okay, so I can use this hour to work my business, and then I can catch the call like on a record, you know. And I mean, you do have to prioritize, and you do have to choose what's going to move you forward the most. And I feel like if I was struggling in my business a little bit more, then I would prioritize the team calls so that I could keep moving forward, you know. But I'm not struggling right now, and I do catch replays, and then things that I do feel like I have trouble with, like I go and I like watch Melanie Mitro on YouTube, or, you know, sometimes I watch like Josh's stuff, and you know, I do it when I have those pockets. So a lot of times 8:00 at night is not my pocket because it's bedtime, like getting kids cleaned and ready for bed. So,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I record for a reason, because I get that life is crazy and stuff. And I think that it's good that like you can catch the recording, you know, while you're getting ready in the morning or whatever it is. Obviously, like if you can be on the call, it's wonderful to like get this information now. But like she said, you know, if you are wondering something, like you can always, you know, search it somewhere. There's tons of good podcasts. We were talking about that with a couple newer coaches before you guys hopped on. Melanie Mitro actually has a podcast called Women Inspiring Women. Phenomenal podcast. She goes over everything with Beachbody, like everything, but she doesn't necessarily make it just Beachbody. It's a lot more, you know, universal. So she does cover clients versus challengers, or she'll talk about recruits instead of coaches. So like she really tries to give it a universal look. So that's a really good podcast that if that's something that you guys want to listen to. But anyone have any other questions? Anything? Hopefully
Ask away. Week's team call, getting people ready for bed.
I just quick question, tracking your business, is there anything that you do, like do you use notebooks? Like what do you?
Yeah, I'm totally paper pencil.
Okay.
And then I like keep my lists as far as who I have sent messages to already. And then some people, like I haven't worked up the courage to send them a message yet. Like some people I like leave them there without the line through their name. Like next time I will send them a message when I'm feeling more boisterous. But yeah, I'm a paper pencil kind of person, and I make my list. And then I just go through and like check them off as I send. And like I said, kind of those 3 columns. for the 3 different types of clickers or commenters, so.
And I like that part where you said that you just send like, hey, thanks for your support. And then if you see them again, that's kind of when you're like, I know you're watching me. Would you like to join me? Like, I like that. So I love that idea.
Well, and people don't say thank you much anymore, like just in general. So for them to get like a thank you from somebody for just clicking on their stuff really does mean a lot to me, because then I know it's going to be like visible to their friends and stuff, So to show gratitude to them for having done that, I feel like has been really helpful.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. Does anyone else have questions? Anything? I know there's lots of busy mamas on this call. You guys have any questions? Karina's probably working her business. Where is she? I'm blown away. I'm blown away with how you make this stuff work and stuff. And I think it was good to just hear your perspective on coaching and, like your vision that you have for coaching and wanting to do this, full time, and how you can actually make it work. So, and if I ever feel like I'm too busy, I'm like, Mary's probably making a cake right now. So
with little helpers and my kids do not have video games or cable or any of that stuff either. So if you think I just set them in front of a TV, that doesn't happen. So they're like in there with me doing it all. So
they're probably out like tending the field and getting the fruit from outside.
Seriously, that's what we do together. Those are our family activities. That's what we do.
Oh my God, I love this.